Feeling constantly hungry is one of the most frustrating experiences when you are trying to eat better, lose weight, or even just feel in control around food. Many people assume that constant hunger means something is wrong with their willpower, metabolism, or discipline. In reality, hunger is rarely a character flaw. It is usually a sign that key variables in your nutrition setup are out of alignment. Appetite is regulated by complex interaction between hormones, food composition, meal timing, activity levels, and habits. When protein is low, fiber is inconsistent, meals lack volume, or timing works against your biology, hunger becomes louder and harder to ignore. The good news is that hunger can be managed strategically. You do not need extreme diets or constant distraction. You need better structure. Let's break down the most important levers you can adjust to stop feeling hungry all the time. Hunger is driven by both physiological and behavioral signals. Hormones like ghrelin increase appetite, while hormones such as peptide YY or PYY for short and GLP-1 promote fullness. These signals respond directly to what you eat, how much you eat, when you eat, and how active you are. When meals are low in protein, low in fiber, easy to overeat, or poorly timed, hunger hormones stay elevated and satiety hormones never fully kick in. Over time, this creates a pattern of constant grazing, cravings, and feeling unsatisfied even after eating. Managing hunger is not about eating less or more food. It's about eating the correct foods that work with your appetite instead of against it, leaving you hungry all the time. Let's discuss the macronutrient that serves as the foundation of appetite control, and that is protein. Protein plays a central role in the hunger management for several reasons. It supports muscle protein synthesis, preserves lean tissue during weight loss, and strongly influences satiety hormones. Higher protein intake has been shown to reduce ghrelin levels while increasing PYY and GLP-1, which, as discussed earlier, are hormones that help you feel full and satisfied. This hormonal shift often leads to a spontaneous reduction in calorie intake without conscious restriction. So, how much protein do you actually need on a daily basis? Protein needs vary depending on your goal. If your goal is weight gain or muscle building, a general recommendation is around 1.4 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. For a 70 kilogram individual, this translates to roughly 100 to 140 grams of protein daily. If your goal is fat loss, protein requirements increase. Research suggests targeting 2.3 to 3.1 grams of protein per kilogram of lean body mass. For that same 70 kilogram individual at around 15% body fat, this can mean consuming between 136 and 185 grams of protein per day. This higher intake helps protect muscle mass while encouraging the body to rely more on fat for energy. It's also important to remember that it is not just how much protein you eat, but how you spread it across the day. Consuming protein in doses of around 30 to 40 grams every 3 to 4 hours helps stimulate muscle protein synthesis more frequently and keeps hunger more stable throughout the day. Now, that isn't a hard and fast rule. It has been shown that the total amount of protein consumed during each day is much more important for overall results. So, if you can only eat 3 times per day, then try to eat your protein target rather than stressing over the 30 to 40 grams per meal rule. But if you regularly feel hungry between meals, uneven protein distribution is often the culprit. Now let's talk about one of the most overlooked tools for appetite control, and that is fiber. Fibrous carbohydrates slow digestion by forming a gel-like substance in the stomach, which delays gastric emptying and increases feelings of fullness. Also, fiber increases chewing time, which gives your brain more time to register what you are eating. This alone can reduce how much you eat without effort. Soluble fiber is fermented by gut bacteria to produce short-chain fatty acids. These compounds may further enhance satiety and support metabolic health. A healthier gut environment is closely linked to better appetite regulation over time. So, how much fiber should you eat in a day? A practical guideline is to consume at least 15 grams of fiber per 1000 calories eaten. For some eating 2000 calories, this would mean aiming for at least 30 grams of fiber per day. High quality fiber sources include fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and cereals. If your meals are low in these foods, hunger will almost always be higher. Feeling full is not just about calories though. It is also about volume. Food that are high in fiber and water content make up more space in the stomach for relatively few calories. This increased volume sends stretch signals to the brain that contribute to fullness. Vegetables, fruits, potatoes, legumes, and soups are excellent examples of high volume foods that support appetite control. On the other hand, energy-dense foods that are low in fiber and easy to eat in large quantities can bypass these fullness signals. This is why it's easy to overeat foods like pastries, oils, sweets, and snack foods without ever feeling satisfied. The key is matching food volume to your goal. If fat loss is the goal, prioritizing high volume, low energy dense foods makes hunger far easier to manage. If weight gain is the goal, incorporating some lower fiber, high energy foods can help meet calorie needs without excessive fullness. Now, let's discuss meal frequency and how it relates to satiety. Meal frequency does not significantly change metabolism when calories and macros are matched, but it can strongly influence hunger and adherence. Eating regular meals that include sufficient protein every 3 to 4 hours can help prevent extreme hunger and reduce impulsive eating later in the day. This approach is particularly useful for people who struggle with constant snacking or large evening cravings. For those in a calorie deficit, consistent meal timing often improves compliance simply because hunger feels more predictable and manageable. However, some people prefer eating within a shorter daily window. Time-restricted eating can make it easier to maintain a calorie deficit and may increase perceived satiety for certain individuals. However, it is not superior for everyone, and hunger can worsen if protein and fiber intake are too low within that window. Now, let's answer a couple of other questions that I frequently get, such as, what about eating earlier in the day? Consuming a larger proportion of daily calories earlier in the day is generally associated with better blood sugar control and metabolic health. In contrast, consistently eating most calories late at night is linked to poorer health outcomes and increased obesity risk. As a general guideline, aim to eat breakfast within 2 hours of waking, lunch before early afternoon, and dinner at least 2 hours before bed. That said, individual chronotypes matter and slight adjustments may be needed. Another frequently asked question is, if protein helps mitigate hunger cravings, will eating protein right before bed make me feel less hungry? For lean individuals focused on muscle gain, consuming a slow digesting protein such as casein before bed can reduce overnight muscle breakdown and support recovery. It's important to note that this should only be used if it does not disrupt sleep. Another aspect that plays an important role in feeling more satiated is exercise. Physical activity plays a surprisingly important role in appetite control. Regular movement improves the body's ability to match hunger signals to actual energy needs. Active individuals tend to feel hungry at appropriate times and satisfied after meals. A sedentary lifestyle can disrupt this regulation. Inactivity is associated with overeating, reduced satiety, and poor compensation after overfeeding. Movement does not just burn calories, it helps recalibrate appetite. Now, as with everything in life, there is a degree of nuance. No single strategy works for everyone. Protein targets may need to start lower for individuals who are vegan or unaccustomed to higher protein intakes. Others may find higher protein levels especially helpful for satiety and should aim toward the upper end of the recommended ranges. The goal is not perfection. The goal is alignment between your food choices, your biology, and your lifestyle. If you are always hungry, it is not because there's something wrong with you. It is almost always because protein is too low, fiber is inconsistent, meals lack volume, timing is working against you, or activity levels are too low. When you strategically adjust protein intake, prioritize fiber-rich foods, eat meals that provide physical fullness, and align your eating schedule with your day, hunger becomes quieter and easier to manage. You stop fighting your food cravings all day long and start feeling satisfied. Understanding hunger is one thing. Applying it consistently in real life is another. That is exactly why Better Balance Coaching offers a 14-day free trial. During those 14 days, you get personalized guidance to help you set up your nutrition in a way that actually controls hunger and fits your lifestyle. When you sign up for the free trial, you also get instant access to the Nutrition Shortcut Bundle, a collection of 12 science-backed booklets that teach you exactly how to implement a nutrition plan based on your goals. You keep these resources for life, even if you decide not to continue after the trial. If you are tired of feeling hungry, frustrated, and stuck, this is the simplest way to start doing things differently without guessing. Start your 14-day free trial and finally build a nutrition setup that works with your appetite instead of against it. See you in the next video.